Namaste, everybody. Let me see if I can see you all. Namaste. How are you all doing? Let me see who's here. I see Sonja, Hildegard, Rainer, Karin. More and more people are joining. We're almost 700 people right now. And over 1,300 have registered for this call with Shri Preethaji tonight. So we will be a big group of friends going through a powerful hour together. Why don't you all take the time? I see you've been busy in the chat, and put one word into the chat, how you're feeling right now. Give me one word that describes how you're feeling right now, wherever you are. Tired, joyful, excited, happy, grateful. Great exclamation mark. Blessed. Fresh, exhausted. We have everything on the call tonight. Peaceful, sad. Sorry to hear that, Katharina. And I hope after this hour, it will have changed. Happy, curious. Beautiful. Thank you all for sharing. That's how we can connect to each other, even though we're spread out all across Europe. Relaxed, grateful, calm, beautiful. It's nice to connect to you tonight. My name is Alina. I'm from Germany. Right now, I'm in the Oneness Nordic Center, the European Center for Enlightenment, run by Shri Preethaji and Shri Krishnaji. We're going through an amazingly powerful process here, and I hope you can feel the energy that's emanating from our European Center all the way to your home. You've joined this evening tonight for a call with Shri Preethaji, with the enlightened master Shri Preethaji from India. Shri Preethaji's mission and vision in life, together with her husband Shri Krishnaji and their entire lineage of enlightened masters, is to show people a path towards living a life free of suffering, a life in inner states of calm, of peace, of joy, inner states of beauty that can invite abundance and fulfillment in your external life. And this hour that we're spending here tonight can be a step towards learning how to live a life free of suffering, learning how to become aware of inner suffering states that you might move into very easily, very quickly, to become aware of them and to learn how to step out of inner states of disturbance, whatever they may be, and learn to nurture beautiful states in your being, states of calm, states of love, states of gratitude. Are all translations okay? I see the German translation experienced some adjustments, but seems to be fine now. All other translations are fine. Can you give me a sign if everybody's okay with their translation? Ukraine is fine, Ukrainian. If you have any problem, please let us know in the chat or open your mic, because we do want you all to follow and to hear and experience and enjoy whatever Shri Preethaji has to share with us tonight. Friendship in relationship, that is the theme that unites us here tonight. Friendship in relationship, freedom in relationship. We will receive a powerful teaching, wisdom by the enlightened master Shri Preethaji, and a powerful blessing, an energetic transmission called Diksha that can elevate our state and it can help us to internalize the enlightened wisdom that we receive about freedom in relationship, whatever that may mean to you, relationship to yourself, relationship with your partner, with your children, with your colleagues, with your friends, with your body. And to start off this evening, let's hear a sharing of someone. I know many of you have journeyed with Sri Preethaji, have visited many of the powerful courses that Sri Preethaji teaches all around the world and all over Europe. So let's hear an experience of a wonderful lady who has experienced Field of Awakening and other courses with Sri Preethaji. That is Lucia from Spain. Lucia, are you here? Do I find you among these many, many beautiful faces? Yes, there she is. Lucia, would you like to open your mic and share with us your experience of Sri Preethaji? It's always beautiful if you encounter a new teacher, an enlightened master, to hear through the words of someone else about the impact of that enlightened master, the impact that wisdom and an enlightened consciousness can have on someone's life. So Lucia, please take it away.
Thank you, Alina. Thank you very much. Hi, everyone. My name is Lucia. I'm 30 years old. I am from Spain, and I'm currently working as a project manager in a software company. So I have been with Oneness for the past 4 years approximately, and I've experienced a couple of FOAs. And honestly, in a nutshell, it has changed my life in many ways. And I'm just going to share a recent example. So some time ago, I began to notice that I had a very present suffering state in me that was very common, and that was rush, right? Rush to arrive somewhere, rush to do, rush to achieve certain goals, rush to be someone. And obviously, along with that rush came a level of anxiety. And when I saw this, my mind immediately said, you just have so many things to do, Lucia. There aren't enough hours in the day, which sounds very noble, right? But really, when I brought awareness, as Sri Preethaji asks us to do always, I realized that, there was suffering there. So I had to do my work and observe. And soon after, effectively, I became aware that behind all that rushing and all those many things that were very necessary, or at least I thought so, there were a number of goals that I had set for myself. But behind those very noble and very constructive goals, there was this feeling that I am not enough, or where I am right now in life is not enough, or what I have achieved is not enough, etc. Right? And of course, with that state as a base, any goal, no matter how constructive it is, will obviously turn into pressure, unease, anxiety, etc. Right? It's very different to move towards something from a state of joy for who I am and where I am right now in life. That really changes everything. And that in itself for me was a huge, huge revelation. Um, but I continued to observe because I felt there was more there for me to see. And a few weeks ago, I caught myself rushing into the shower because I had to take my dogs out, right? At the perfect time, because any later would mean that I was going to go to bed later and wake up later, and I didn't want that. So when I saw that rush, I was like, maybe you can take them out 40 minutes instead of 1 hour. And immediately my body was like, less is not enough. And when I saw that internal reaction in me, I was shocked. 40 minutes is more than enough. Like, where is this coming from, right? And I saw it in that moment. It was like, boom, in front of me. I saw like how I've spent basically all my life creating these identities of the ideal Lucia, the perfect daughter, the ideal friend, Lucia, the ideal dog mom, the ideal project manager, even the ideal spiritual seeker, right? And of course, each of these ideal Lucias brought an endless number of characteristics that Lucia had to cover to be that. And obviously, just thinking and talking about it, you can imagine how exhausting, right? And obviously completely unsustainable. Um, so really, after having that big revelation, um, I still need to bring more awareness and continue to observe, because this was something that was very deeply rooted, running in automatic. But honestly, it has changed the way I approach my daily life massively. I still have goals. It's not about not having goals, but it's really about what is the state that I have to go and walk towards those goals. And I couldn't see before that my mind had me trapped in this cycle, you know? And the minute I became aware of it and I could see it, it has lifted such a huge weight from me. So, the last thing that I would like to share regarding this is that this insight, this big insight, it really didn't come to me in an extraordinary mystical experience, which I have had some of those, but this honestly just came to me through constant practice of awareness, day after day, observing my inner state, observing my suffering. And like Sri Preethaji has always emphasized, and I take to heart, awareness is really the real enemy of habit and of suffering. And for me, that has been the real foundation of my transformation, thanks to oneness, that consistency and choosing, again and again to bring awareness, to observe. That is what really has transformed me, and continues to transform me on a daily basis. So I would say that is the greatest gift that oneness and Shri Pritaji have given me. So I encourage you all to bring awareness on a daily basis, do your practice, and continue to train that aspect of ourselves. It's big. Thank you.
Thank you, Lucia, for sharing this powerful experience of yours and your insight that basically real transformation comes with consistent practice and reflection and consistency, as you describe it. Thank you so much for sharing this with all of us. And I feel that now we should be ready to receive Shri Preethaji here with us to receive powerful wisdom. Yes, people are thanking you, Lucia, in the chat. Thank you for this useful and helpful sharing. So let's prepare now to receive Shri Preethaji, to receive powerful wisdom on freedom and friendship in relationships. What friendship is, how we can live it. And how it can transform our life. Welcome, Shri Preethaji, who's here with us, sharing her beautiful wisdom. Namaste, Shri Preethaji.
Namaste, Alina. How are you?
I'm really well.
Just seeing you from just a few minutes ago. Namaste. How are you all? So beautiful to be connecting to all of you. Europe feels more like home now with Oneness Nordic. And it was also very beautiful to travel around Europe to Zagreb, Madrid, and Budapest. And I believe I've seen a few of you there. And right now we are in Oneness Nordic for the field of awakening, the very first field of awakening in Oneness Nordic. So today's conversation is going to be around relationships. Freedom in relationships is the theme of our conversation. And I would say freedom is probably the most misunderstood words in the world. It's misunderstood as much as, I would say, love as much as God. Most people confuse freedom with independence. Please know that freedom is not independence. Freedom does not mean independence, it is different. Independence, in we put it in words like, to be able to go anywhere, to do anything, to relate to anybody, to live anywhere, to do anything that you want. That is independence, right? It is simple, it is evident. While freedom, I would say, is an entirely different matter. Freedom is the experience of freedom in your consciousness. It is your inner state. I would say freedom is to be free from your fear, free of your frustration, to be free of your loneliness, to be free of your unhappiness or sadness. And now, freedom in relationships is a very profound theme, right? Life is so many relationships. Your relationship with your parent, with your partner, with your child, with your siblings, with a friend, with an enemy, with a subordinate, with a boss, with a client, with a business partner, with a neighbor, with a stranger. Relationship means two. There is you and the other. That's also very obvious, right? In every one of these relationships, there is beauty. And of course, there is also a potential for friction. This is also very natural because two beings with entirely different experiences, two beings with two entirely different tendencies or samskaras from earlier times, ancestors and cultures. And this friction between two can arise because of different views, different divergent ideals, different priorities, different behaviors, different attitudes, different approaches. But once there is friction between two, eventually it becomes suffering. Once there is friction, it eventually becomes anger, it becomes sorrow, it becomes hurt, it becomes disappointment. And these stressful suffering state take root within the two of you. And when these suffering states take root within you, freedom is lost in the relationship. I want every one of you to remember this. You are not bound by the other, but please understand every one of you are bound by your inner unhappiness. You are bound by the stress that arises in the relationship. You are bound to your state. So freedom is not moving away from the other. Freedom is not in avoiding the other. Because how far can you go? How far will you run away from the people who around whom you feel stressed? Even when you run away from the person, those memories of deep unhappiness and sadness lies within you. And you cannot really run from these memories. So how far will you run? From how many people will you run? How many relationships will you avoid? So avoidance is not the solution. Running away is not the solution because you can't run for long. How many people you will avoid? How long will you run? How are you running from your own memories of deep unhappiness and sadness in that relationship? So, running is not the solution, but I want you to take a few moments and reflect on what the solution is. The solution is when you experience freedom in your hearts from the pain that you have experienced, freedom from the deep hurt that you've experienced. Freedom in relationship means you have a heart that has become healed of hurts. Freedom in relationship means your heart chakra is actually flowered and awakened to a very beautiful state in consciousness, which is a state of causeless love. Freedom in relationship does not mean running away from the person, does not mean running away from your memories. Freedom in relationship actually means healing your heart of the deep hurts, deep wounds that you have encountered, and to be free of that and allowing your heart to come alive and actually allowing your heart chakra to flower and awaken to this profound or magnificent state of causeless love. That is freedom. A causeless love that arises, a love that arises without a reason, a love that flows from your heart even when the other is not acting according to what you want. Love as an experience arises from within, and you experience a state of total connection, a state of total presence. And in this experience of love in your hearts, there is freedom. You don't feel stifled by the other. You don't feel controlled by the other. Your mind that constantly moves into this place of judgment towards the other silences. Your mind that constantly feels pity for yourself, that you have not been respected or appreciated, or your presence is not respected. That entire thinking dissolves. It is the love that you've been longing for all your life. And you thought that this experience of causeless love will be given to you by someone. But it is a love that is flooding your hearts. And it's also possible for the other to give you this experience of love, but only in a few special moments. But immersing in the space of causeless love again and again is possible only when your heart experiences an awakening, when your heart chakra flowers. It is more like a wellspring that is there within you that allows you to experience that state of causeless love again and again and again. You allow the state to emerge from within you. And you experience that love that you have been seeking for. And that experience where there is healing of the heart, free of the past memories of hurt and disappointments, awakening of your heart chakra, immersing in this experience of causeless love, that is freedom in relationships. Do you want to experience such a love? Beautiful. Let me take some questions from you now.
Thank you, Shri Preethaji. Yes, we have some seekers on the call who would like to dig deeper into this wisdom of freedom in relationships. So first we will hear from Borja from Spain.
Namaste.
Hello, namaste. It was a great pleasure to meet you again in Madrid. Thank you for coming. My question is regarding my children, my child. So I consider myself a good father, and my family obviously is the most important thing in my life. However, sometimes I'm too strict with my children, putting more emphasis on the things they need to improve instead of everything they do well. Of course, that I do it out of love and with the will to make them better, not to make my mistakes or correct the education I received. So sometimes I don't know where to draw the line between loving guidance and being too demanding or too hard. Um, so I want to raise them from a place of love, not from my own unresolved experiences. So any advice on how to improve my approach?
Such a beautiful question, and it's the most important question for any parent over here listening to this. For a parent, practicing awareness in your relationship with your child, I would say it's an extraordinary path to enlightenment itself. It is important that you bring attention to your state around your children. And it is important for you to notice if there is worry, if there is frustration, a feeling of fear, a feeling of not being good enough for them, an inner state of conflict. It is important that you bring attention to these states in consciousness. Your intention definitely has to be noble, that is, to do the best for your children. But if your state is going to be stressful and suffering, please know in that stressful and suffering state, you really can't feel your children. You can't feel their anxiety, their helplessness, their boredom, their loneliness, their stress. Because your stressful states does not allow you to see, does not allow you to feel. And when you're preoccupied with your stressful states, that is when you become very mechanical. And it becomes a very mechanical process, parenting itself. You keep driving your children forward with, say, advices, ideals of discipline, ideals of hard work, and so on. And you think that you're doing right for them. One thing I want every one of you to remember, it is only when you become free of your stress, only when you become, or when you're able to walk out of your stress, that is when you are able to truly connect to your children or your grandchildren. And from that space of connection, that is when you are able to give a right advice for them. And that has to become the way of living for every one of you. Joyful children, I would say, are the result of parents who are internally free. That is, when you become free of your past, when you become free of your pain, then that pain doesn't continue. And so your practice of awareness is utmost important, because only in that experience of awareness there is freedom, and only in that experience of freedom you're connecting to your children, and you're doing whatever you're doing at that point in that space of connection. That is the right thing that you're doing.
Thank you, Shri Preethaji. Now we're hearing a sharing from and a question from Noreen from Italy.
Beautiful.
Good to see you. Namaste.
Namaste, Noreen. So good to see you, Noreen. How are you?
Let me tell you, I'm going to read you a little story.
Beautiful.
2 months ago, I noticed a lump on the side of my neck. And after a period of hoping it would just disappear, I began to investigate, but I didn't know what to do or how to find a doctor or which way to turn. At one point, I realized I was panicking. So I stopped, took deep breaths, and knew I could not achieve anything in this state. The next day, a good friend of mine gave me the name of a doctor that could help, and I was able to make an appointment with him. He put everything into motion, and from then on, it was like a clear path was paved. Just recently, the test results showed that I have a malignant tumor on my tonsils. After the initial shock, my attitude towards my body changed. I accepted that this was something that needed attention, and I couldn't ignore it anymore or expect it to disappear. I began to feel that my body was a gift entrusted to me, and I was called to take any action that was required to restore it to health, and to do it with love and gratitude in my heart. I feel like my body and I are facing this together, hand in hand, a relationship of acceptance and respect, a true friendship. I'm not fighting the tumor. I feel more like I'm inviting it to leave my body so I can return to a healthy state. I'm not obsessed with it, but I am giving it the attention it needs as if it were a dear friend in need. I feel guided and totally protected by the divine, and I feel total inner peace, even with the uncertainty that surrounds the outcome. And this is because I've embraced the oneness teachings, and I'm so grateful to you, Sri Preethaji and Sri Krishnaji, for the oneness path that I'm following. My question is there always a lesson to be learned when we are faced with a serious health problem? Or is karma involved, or is this just how life is? And also, how can we be friends with our body and best support it through difficult health problems?
It's so happy to see you smile and say this, Noreen. It's so beautiful because your stress, your fear, your worry, your anxiety is not going to help the situation. So what will actually help your situation is your joy, your state that is free of every form of suffering. So it's so beautiful. And that you asked a question around your karma and how do we actually deal with situations. External situations, please, everyone have to know that it is a result of karma. And it could be a running karma in the family. So it is like a hurricane that has come, I would say. But then the hurricane is not there forever. It'll pass. You have, how do we actually help the situation is you have three factors supporting you. First factor is, of course, you're working on your state. There is a smile, there is joy in you. You're not obsessed. There is peace, there is gratitude. You are engaged in seva. And definitely you're also working on your soul circle's transformation. And these three powerful factors will make this negative karma pass soon. I would say continue to strengthen these three factors: your state, your seva, and the work that you're doing on your soul circle. We can see it more as a family karma that is flowing. And these three factors will help you incredibly well so that you can heal completely. And definitely a lot of blessings your way for healing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sri Preethaji. Now we will hear a question from Ola from Ukraine, living in Germany.
Namaste.
Namaste, everyone. Namaste, Sri Preethaji. My question is about my relationship with my partner. I feel that I am currently suffering because I realize that I am cheating on myself, adjusting to my partner, his desires, vision of situation, and views. I dissolved in him and thus betrayed myself, lost myself. Now, 6 months into the relationship, I'm getting myself back, my interests, my hobbies, my friends. But I realized that our relationship is impossible without my adjustment. The question is how not to cross the line between a healthy choice of yourself and your inner truth and a selfish desire to have it my way. How to find this line?
Beautiful question. It's a question in any relationship. Dissolving yourself in another. Though the very thought of it is very terrifying, but it is an extraordinary experience. If you're really dissolved in yourself, it means there is no separation between you and the other. Means there is no, or there was no background noise that kept grumbling. What about me? What about my desires? If I'm going to only continue to do what you want me to do. I want you to know that what you have done, or what amidst moments that you've had definitely of dissolving into the other, what you have tried to practice in this relationship that you're narrating, I would say it's an ideal of sacrifice. What does it mean? That means you did not have a beautiful state of love behind all that giving up. And that is why you're feeling that you have betrayed yourself. So if you have a love flooding your heart, and when you do something for somebody else's sake, you wouldn't feel that you have sacrificed. You wouldn't feel that you have betrayed yourself. You are trying very hard to make this relationship work, but you're doing it by holding on to an ideal of sacrifice. And please don't do that. But when you awaken to an experience of love and togetherness with your partner, and when you do something for the sake of your partner, you're not feeling you have hurt yourself or you have betrayed yourself. So what I would suggest you is move away from, if you really care for this relationship, which I believe you care, move away from trying to hold on to the ideal of sacrifice, get to this place of love in your hearts. And thereafter, you would see it is more like a very beautiful flow. You do stuff which you like, you do stuff which the other likes, but there is no inward hurt or inward disappointment that is creeping in you because you're doing what other wants. So what I would suggest is to awaken to a state of costless love, to wake up to love in your hearts, and that becomes the guiding light for the flow of life. Otherwise, it is like constant measurement, like I've done this many times what you want, you need to do that many times what I want. That is not how life is lived, especially in very close relationships. It is not possible. But when you open up your hearts to experience of love, you would see that you are doing what the other wants you to do. You are doing what you want to do, but there is a very beautiful flow around it. Only when there is love, exactly, you will know what you need to do in any relationships. Otherwise, your logic mind would try to do math, try to do calculations, and it always makes the relationship feel very bitter.
Thank you, Preethaji. Now we're hearing from Rosanna and Stefan from Switzerland.
Namaste, Preethaji.
Namaste, Rosanna. How's your baby?
Very well. She's sleeping. She's 15 months now. She's a strong little girl.
Beautiful, amazing.
Yeah. So nice to see you again after such
Wonderful
a
seeing both
time.
of you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, my question is, I mean, you answered already like a few parts, but my question comes from an observation within our couple and also like within many couples of friends that we have around. And it's the observation that as soon as we've become parents, like this tendency of friction, the one you said, this tendency of conflict and judging and separating and comparing somehow increases. And my question is, why does that happen? Why is that that phenomenon there? And also, most importantly, how to come back to that state of connection when life is so demanding while being a parent. So we don't have so much time like we used to do before with all the beautiful spiritual journeys. So what would be something we could implement every day?
Beautiful. So it's very nice, very beautiful observation that you have made that, the judgments were lesser earlier, the divisive tendencies were lesser. What I would say is every time there is a situation that you're facing a serious challenge, or basically a challenge or a problem, then the divisive tendencies tend to increase. The challenge could be parenting, because the child demands a lot, baby demands a lot. The challenge could be financial, it could be health, or it could be a challenge from the larger family. And it is because of this pressure that you're facing in a challenging situation, that is when the separation, or we can say the relationship, develops cracks. And what are these cracks? These cracks are your suffering states. When suffering states of irritation, loneliness, disappointment grip you, I would say, please make your state very important. Both of you have to make your state extremely important, because being a parent, what you need to experience is great togetherness. Of course, there are many, many views that arises, but not being so stuck to one particular view that you move into a place of anger and irritation with the other, because your state is getting so absorbed by the child. So every time there is loneliness, there is disappointment, there is irritation, there is frustration, you need to practice meditation, you need to bring attention to it, and you need to dissolve it. So the reason why you are in this place is because of the new challenge that you're facing, because of the responsibilities that come. And in terms of time, there is so much of adjustments that you need to do to your life. So there is frustration that develops. So with this current challenge, you move into suffering. That is when you see yourself becoming experiencing more divisive tendencies. So as and when these experiences, these suffering states arise, bring attention to it. And both of you together as a couple hold a very beautiful vision to kind of, walk out of suffering, nurture a beautiful state of togetherness and love, because that's very important for you, because from there you will develop the incredible strength to address, and you will see that the energy that you have, the intelligence that flows, the way you're able to raise your child, everything kind of has a beautiful aura to it. So hold the vision, walk out of suffering. Everybody has different views. You don't need to get into conflict because of views. Everybody have different ideas. So just make them as ideas, facts, but let that not creep in as disappointment, hurt, and frustration into your relationships, into your relationship.
Thank you, Preethaji. Now Kasha is asking a question from France.
France.
Namaste, Preethaji. Can you hear me?
I can hear you very well. I can see you also.
Nice to see you. Nice to be on this call. Yes, my question was, a quick context. I'm a teacher, so I went back to work last week, and I could feel an immense sense of anxiety because I'd come back kind of spending a lot of time alone and then going back to work with a lot of people and being around a lot of people. And I could notice, I observed very quickly this state of being in a group dynamic, of starting to compare myself, and this need to fit in, which was causing suffering. And I suppose my question, because I've observed this in different groups, whether it's been in oneness, whether it's been with work, whether it's been with friends or family, this observation of going into comparison and it then not enabling me to have an authentic connection with other people. And my question is, I understand that it's this constant friction between authenticity and attachment, and this need to belong, this need to fit in. And so I suppose my question is that always something, because we are interdependent and we need other people, is that inner conflict between authenticity and attachment, will it always be there? And is it just about bringing attention to the state on an ongoing basis?
Very beautifully asked. But you know, when you do allow your heart to immerse in a space of love, where you feel totally complete and where you feel whole, these questions don't even arise. These questions arise because there is a lack, I would say, a lack of an experience of love in your hearts, and I mean, the questions around like comparison and how to get rid of it. When you begin to feel so complete within yourself, with love flooding your hearts, there's not even a thought about what the other is doing. The thought of comparison, whether it's in oneness or in your work or anywhere else, those thoughts, like, just like how a lotus leaf does not get stuck, though it is in water and slush, no mud or no water does stick to it. It is just pure and beautiful. Such would be your consciousness, free of comparison, free of this tendency to constantly analyze, attach. All that just falls away when you immerse yourself in an experience of love. And that should be the vision for everyone, to kind of flood your hearts to that experience of love. And you would see that, these tendencies don't exist.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Preethaji. We have one last question from Jarko from Croatia.
Yes.
Namaste to all.
Namaste.
Preethaji, thank you for coming to Zagreb. It was extraordinary experience.
It was such a beautiful experience for me too. The first time in Zagreb, and it was very beautiful. And to see a
Thank you.
little community flowering there, it's very nice.
Thank you. I have a question. Your teachings on acceptance bring me clarity and peace. Yet, in my daily work life, I often find myself caught in stress and pressure. How can I bridge the gap between understanding acceptance and truly living it in such moments? Thank you.
To find peace, especially when moments or situations are difficult, you need many realizations, you need many insights, you need definitely mystical experiences, and all these is very essential to kind of nurture peace within your heart. But just know that moving into practices, first is holding a spiritual vision, holding a huge vision for your state. That is very important, because it is only on holding a spiritual vision that is when you do not allow the stressful states to be with you, to be stuck with you, or to get entangled in it. It is like, oh, this suffering is arising, or this particular stress is arising. You're not saying, oh, it's another stress. No, you're throwing light of awareness, you are seeing it very clearly, and you are allowing it to dissolve. So the first overarching vision has to be for the state, for the spiritual vision for your state. And that is when you bring again and again attention to your inner state, and you do not allow stress to take hold of you. Please understand, if you're not bringing awareness, it is not that it is not there, it is just it is becoming the undercurrent of your experience, and we don't want that to happen. When you hold a spiritual vision, you're not allowing any form of stress to take root in you. You're bringing attention to it and dissolving it. And as you continue to grow, as you're able to see yourself, and as you're able to have many insights, many realizations, and many mystical experiences, many powerful awakenings into powerful states in consciousness, then you would find peace.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shri Preethaji, for this powerful wisdom. May we take some time to speak about the upcoming FOA in Germany? Thank you, Shri Preethaji. Because basically, I don't know about...
Blessing.
Yes, Shri Preethaji. So, I don't know about all the other 900 people on the call, but from what I understand from Shri Preethaji, basically all problems in relationships dissolve if I myself move into a state of causeless love and get rooted and established in an inner state of causeless love. And luckily, we're not by ourselves on our own needing to find that causeless love, but Shri Preethaji will soon come to Europe with a powerful 4-day retreat where we can all learn to move into causeless love again and again, and to live from causeless love in our everyday life, in all of our relationships, all the relationships that were mentioned, in parenting and partner relationships, in group relationships and group dynamics at work. And that is Field of Awakening Causeless Love that will happen in October 23rd to 26th of October in Munich, in Germany, where I'm from, and many of you are from. It's the first time that For Causeless Love is happening in Germany, and very soon, in 4 days, the early bird for this course runs out. It would definitely be very, very exciting to see you there in the course, to co-create a field of love with all of you, and to leave after the course with a state of causeless love internally. If we can see the slide again, you see a QR code there. Please scan that QR code. It will lead you to our website, fieldofawakening.eu, where you can still make use of that early bird until September 15, the next 4 days. It's a very unique chance. Shri Preethaji is not in Europe a lot for this legendary 4-day retreat, Field of Awakening, in October. It will happen in Germany. And I think we all learned now from the wisdom that a state of causeless love is incredibly valuable for all of us in all of our relationships. So make use of this early bird while it's still there. And I look forward to seeing you in October in Munich. And now I think we're all ready to receive a powerful blessing, a Diksha transmission from Shri Preethaji.
And now gently close your eyes. Inhale and exhale slowly and deeply. Now, as you inhale, feel the divine presence flow into your heart. Exhale and hold your awareness on your heart. We will now chant the Ekam mantra, Hamsa Soham Ekam, which means I am you, you are me, we are one. Feel yourself immersing in the divine presence as you chant the mantra. You will inhale deeply, and while exhaling, you will chant the mantra in a single exhalation. Holding your attention at your heart, receive blessing from Shri Preethaji for any one heartfelt intention you may hold now. May I be blessed. Ayatanavan Asmi. May I be blessed. Ayatanavan Asmi. May I be blessed. Gently open your eyes.
Thank you so much, Shri Preethaji.
Thank you.
Grazie,
Thank
Shri
you so
Preethaji.
much.
Grazie di cuore.
Thank you so much.
Grazie.
Thank you
So much, Preethaji.
so much.
Grazie.